Your lucky number is 6. Gemini. Patience, determination, and a strong sense of duty. This is a time of steady progress, achievement, and recognition. You will work hard on building safe and secure foundations for years to come. You could receive a promotion at work to be given more responsibility. Your lucky number is 16. Cancer. Communication involved in romance could come unexpectedly today. You may get a loving message from a romantic partner, or you could hear a wedding to take place in the future amongst your circle of friends. Your lucky number is 22. Leo. A chance to increase your income by participating in an artistic project of some kind could come your way today. You might take part in the creative work, or you could promote it in a business capacity. Your lucky number is 3. Virgo. Friends and family might ask for your assistance getting themselves in order. This is also a time to take care of health issues, so schedule your yearly doctor's visits and follow up on any tests or lab work you have done. Your lucky number is 12. Libra. Your beauty inside and out is evident, and you're often looked up to as the standard by which other people want to live their lives. Decision making can be a challenge now as you look for the ultimate fair solution, but sometimes there isn't one that will make everyone happy. Your lucky number is 10. Scorpio. Your desires come to the surface and you crave closer, more intimate relationships. You might be even more secretive now than usual, but you expect full disclosure from everyone else. Your lucky number is 7. Sagittarius. You have the best time expanding your horizons and visiting new places and meeting new people now, especially if they can teach you something about the world and yourself. Some people can't wait to reach the destination, but for you it's all about the journey, even if it's virtual. Your lucky number is 4. Capricorn. You must be willing to make changes to meet your full potential, but a hardworking goat is never afraid to do whatever it takes to climb to the top. Development and progress in all areas of life are possible if you focus on yourself and what's most important. Your lucky number is 20. Aquarius. Watch out for a buildup of nervous tension over not knowing exactly what might happen next. You like your freedom, but you don't thrive on chaos. Try to stay in your confined space so it will safeguard you. Your lucky number is 13. Pisces. Having the soft, pillowy layers of plausible deniability you've built around you can be unnerving, and you won't want to face the realities that slowly creep in. You're tougher than you seem though, Pisces, so having to face the music can be a blessing in disguise. Your lucky number is 25. And your quote for today: take responsibility of your own happiness. Never put it in the hands of others. And that's your horoscope for today, brought to you with the kind compliments of Jyoti's Puja Store of Main Road, Chase Village. For all your puja needs, join me tomorrow same time on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio for your daily horoscope. And if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. May God richly bless you. And if it's your anniversary, happy blessed anniversary from the management and staff of U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Irma, leaving you with a spark of light, love, peace, blessings, and a positive day ahead. We now turn you over to Kenrick Juggernaut for UTalk.
Well, thank you very much, Uma, for today's horoscope. Note that video came to you with the compliments of Jyoti's Puja Store. You can join Uma tomorrow again at the same time for another edition of your daily horoscope. You're with the most interactive morning program on the airwaves of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a UTalk with yours truly, Kenrick Juggernaut, and I'll be taking you until the hour of 9 this morning as we examine and look at some of the issues of the day and also invite your calls into our conversation. Those numbers are 636-7547-227-5739. You can also catch us at WhatsApp at 378-4975. We're also live on YouTube at RCL U975. Yes, and we are also live on Facebook. 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, the morning program, powered by RCL Communications Network.
We shopping at Durban Supermarkets. Hey, come down. We'll value at Durban Supermarket. Shop now at Durban Supermarket. Come to Durban Supermarket. Come on down. We got the best prices for your pockets. Get real value for your money. Durban Supermarket treats you like family. Hey. Nothing overpriced. It's guaranteed for sure. Save big at Durban and shop even more. Real value to Durban Supermarket. We got the best prices for your pockets. Take advantage of unbelievable deals at Durban Supermarket, number 28 Foster Road in Sangre Grande. Durban Supermarket and Investment Limited, giving you real value for your money.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations, Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
It's the talk of the town. It's Talk a Talk on U975 FM, Monday to Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. So join me, your host Mukesh Baburam, on a 3-hour journey guaranteed to take your stress away. Remember, Monday to Thursday, right here on U975 FM.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Yes, indeed, and a very good morning in Trinidad and Tobago, and thank you very much for choosing 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, as your radio of choice, powered by RCL Communications Network. I am Kenrick Juggernaut, and you are with the morning program. But first up, let me keep you abreast as to what are some of the major stories as published in today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. Well, today it's a Tuesday, September 29, 2020, and in today's edition of the Newsday newspaper, it's 48 pages in total. Very graphic photograph published on the front page. The cover, that is, Revelers, Last Lap. Prime Minister confirms no 2021 revelry. COVID-19 kills a carnival. That's the big story here this morning. And stakeholders are ponder alternative virtual carnival. Just let me share the first two paragraphs with you. The COVID-19 virus has claimed yet another victim. Carnival 2021. The Prime Minister yesterday effectively dashed all hope that the greatest show on earth will go on in 2021 definitively, starting at the spotlight on the economy forum that he sees no future for Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago in the months ahead. Remember, we would have spoken about this about 3 weeks ago, yes? And the consensus shared by most callers, well, then, yes, Carnival should be cancelled. Well, so said, so done. This decision taken by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley in light of the COVID-19. But if there's any change in our situation here, well, then something could happen. Yes? Okay, stakeholders ponder alternative virtual carnival. Minutes after the Prime Minister announced that Carnival 2021 was cancelled, stakeholders said they deeply hope their members could still produce some limited scale activities virtually. Into some other news as we focus on what is happening on the crime front. Mother, stepdad charged with sex abuse of daughters. Police charged a mother with 5 counts of failing to report the suspected rape of her daughters 17 and 14 by her boyfriend. Nephew, 19, arrested for raping aunt. Cocorit man charged with child cruelty. Those stories, you can catch the details on page 5. Well, as we focus on the matter at hand, remember this 2021 budget. That package will be presented by Finance Minister Colin Imbert on the 5th of next month, which is next week, Monday. And much has been said. A number of people would have made certain comments, suggestions, even some, especially on social media, would have posted a number of thoughts, comments saying, in essence, that Finance Minister Colin Imbert will cut pensions, interfere with national insurance, raise taxes, and what have you. Well, and in particular, the devaluation of the Trinidad and Tobago dollar. Remember, last week, Monday, I would have hosted the pre-budget discussion with Ved Sriram and Dr. Botuari. And there was a view being shared by both men that the dollar could be revalued. Well, Finance Minister Colin Imbert would have put that to rest yesterday. He said there will be no devaluation of the Trinidad and Tobago dollar at this time. Let me repeat. No devaluation of the Trinidad and Tobago dollar. So that goes to all those people outside there who enjoy posting all sorts of mischief on social media, talking about the devaluation of Trinidad and Tobago dollar, the cutting of, or rather the adjustment of a senior citizen pension, and interfering with your national insurance. I don't know where these people get their information from. I really don't know. Anyway, so let's move on with our conversation here this morning. Minister Imbert, public sector salaries, wages cost taxpayers $20 billion. Public sector salaries and wages cost taxpayers at least $20 billion a year, or about 1.5 to 1.7 billion a month. This according to Finance Minister Colin Imbert as he spoke yesterday. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, TSTT overbilled taxpayers by $300 million. State Telecoms company TSTT overcharged taxpayers by $300 million for providing cameras to the government. This according to the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. One more COVID-19 death, 24 new cases yesterday. On Monday, the Ministry of Health recorded one new COVID-19 death and 24 more samples. In its 10 o'clock update, the ministry said the country's latest death is an elderly female with pre-existing conditions, bringing the number of deaths to 72. All right, let me just be very correct here. In the number of active cases, 2,039. Positive COVID-19 cases, 4,386. So we can safely say by the end of this year, we can cross over 5,000 based on the trend we are seeing thus far. Crash Susu administration's car firebombed. Police are searching for a suspect who firebombed the car of a Susu administrator on Sunday night at a home in St. Madeleine. Very interesting story there indeed. The Law Association Commissioner right to investigate DSS raid. Well, yesterday I would have spoken to Police Commissioner Gary Griffith, and he would have shared some information with us where he said that investigations are ongoing into this matter. And I also said yesterday initially that whether it's a police officer or whether it's a soldier, the buck stops to the Police Commissioner, Gary Griffith, because the raid, the exercise would have been sanctioned by him, would have been given the necessary blessings by him. So in essence, the Commissioner has that right to investigate and find out exactly what transpired in that exercise. So as I said, investigations are continuing into this matter. Upset over 2020 Cape CSEC results, Catholic school boards demand answers from CXC. Oropuch East Member of Parliament Dr. Rudal Munilal tells government finish Ramai Trace Hindu School. Listen to this, Oropuch East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal has written to the government requesting that a primary school named after him in his constituency be completed. He addressed the 2-page letter to Finance Minister Colm Imber, saying he wrote it on behalf of students and PTA members of the Dr. Rudal Munilal Ramai Trace Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha Primary School in Debe. Well, we'll keep on top of that story as we continue to look at most of the developments in the country. So those are about some of the stories, as I said, published in today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. You can go to your favorite newsstands this morning and purchase a copy of this publication. It is priced at only $3 and it's available at all leading newsstands throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Well, in terms of sports, well, yes, West Indies women, they would have lost 4 games in a row versus England, thereby losing that T20 series. Was a 5-match T20 series. The West Indies women would have lost 4 in a row surrounding that series to the English. And of course, yes, the Indian Premier League continues today. And this may be of interest to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially football lovers. Trinidad and Tobago may face Montserrat in preliminary match, but Gold Cup frustrations for Fenwick. Despite being suspended from all international competitions by FIFA, Trinidad and Tobago may face Montserrat in a preliminary game in the 2021 Gold Cup. CONCACAF held its draw for the Gold Cup last night. Well, yesterday I reminded you of that during the sports update in Miami. But head coach of the senior men's national team, Terry Fenwick, says he feels frustrated. Trinidad and Tobago are yet to reach a Gold Cup finals. In 2015, they reached the quarterfinals under then coach Stephen Hart. But their best performance was in 2000 when they made it to the semifinals under Bertil Sinclair. So as I said, go outside there, purchase your copy of this publication, the Newsday newspaper, available at all leading newsstands throughout the country. The time in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is just about 26 minutes here to the hour of 7 o'clock. And that time check came to you through the kind courtesy of Radio 975 FM Hot Like Pepper, powered by RCL Communications Network. Stay with us here.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. For all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations, Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Yes, indeed, and thank you very much for choosing 97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper as your radio of choice. You are with the morning program, as I said, the most interactive morning program on the airwaves of Trinidad and Tobago. Note that you can get into our conversation by calling us at 636-7547, 227-5739. This morning, in the main, I want to deal with Carnival, or rather, this announcement made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley that Carnival 2021 will be cancelled. Share your thoughts with me. Did you expect this announcement to be made by the Prime Minister, given the fact that we are still into the month of September? Share your thoughts with me. What's your thought on this announcement as coming from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley? Certainly a blow for all stakeholders in the industry, and I refer to it as an industry because according to those stakeholders, Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago is a big money earner, a money spinner. So you can share your thoughts with me on this. Later on in this morning's program, I'll be chatting with Said Mohammed, who is a band leader in San Fernando. You see, there's a tendency for people to focus on what is happening in Port of Spain. No doubt Port of Spain is the mecca of Carnival, but I always like to focus on what is happening too in San Fernando. The impact this announcement will have on masqueraders, band leaders in the southern city. Well, according to a story published in one of the newspapers here this morning, some in the industry, stakeholders, they are saying that maybe we, when I say the people of Trinidad and Tobago and those involved, should look at a virtual carnival for 2021. How this will factor in, well, I really do not know. But I know that a number of people would have been looking on quite closely at the development of, when I say development, I'm talking here about COVID-19 and the impact it is having on various sectors in society, and more so Carnival would be hardest hit by this announcement. So the Prime Minister is saying that it's not a possible. Carnival 2021 is off. The decision is final. Carnival 2021 is off. This according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley as he made this announcement yesterday during the Ministry of Finance Spotlight on a Budget 2021 forum held at the Hyatt Regency in Port of Spain. Now, I mentioned to you this morning, and this is why I take real issue with some people who have a tendency to go on social media, especially those people who are still quote-unquote toting feelings over the results of the 2020 general election, saying that it's decisions. These decisions have already been taken, and it's only a matter of time. When you make these sort of pronouncements and you make these sort of comments and you post it on social media, there's a ripple effect, especially on the elderly of society, especially on the vulnerable, those people who depends on the government of the day, those people who live from a paycheck to a paycheck, especially the elderly in terms of their senior citizen pension, their national insurance and so on, and all their other grants which they continue to receive from the government of the day. We understand the situation in Trinidad and Tobago, but without any sort of empirical evidence and without a consultation with anyone, people off the top of their head post one set of nonsense on social media talking about finance minister going to cut senior citizen pension, interfere with national insurance and so on, and look at the social release programs. Utter rubbish. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Ken. Long time morning, Shannon. Good morning, there's long time I call early.
All right, yeah, good morning to you.
I heard we heard a little breakdown of the finance of the country. But one thing I wonder, they want to kind of like throw a bone at all the past governments. So I don't know why the governments had failed in the past to allow the public to know what sort of subsidies the country gets. But when you have a union up and down the place, beating the chest and quarreling for money, not saying about, every time you go to Tea and Tech and you pay $1, the government actually pays 40 cents to you.
Mm-hmm.
So all these stuff we get, and we not even the man on the street not even aware of that. Only if you break it down for him in that way, he will be aware, when I go to WASA and I pay my WASA bill, actually government pays a portion of the bill for me. I'm not paying the real cost of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
So all that is part of our salary and income as well, that I money, I subsidies. And then the schools and all these, and the hospitals, all these, all these things we get that are subsidized. So we live in a heavily subsidized country.
No, but I am of the view that these entities should be run as a business.
Right.
Why should the government continue to subsidize WASA and TNDEC?
Well, I think we should do a calculation, see the actual running of these things, see the actual bills, and I believe in that way. If you cut away these subsidies and adjust salaries to suit, I think we'll come out better than allowing people to just, because remember, you will use your current differently. You will use your water differently. People, human, have a nature when they get things free or too cheap, we just abuse it.
No, well, we would have had this discussion already, where I think one international agency would have said that WASA is overstaffed by 4,000, and right. Watson Duke, who represent this group of workers, is saying, do not touch one hair of any WASA worker, but we cannot continue like this. What do we do?
Yeah, but Mr. Kenny, don't mind they're overstaffed. They get a chance to get overtime. So how you getting overtime when overtime normally is if somebody's maybe you have short staff or so. How you getting people to get overtime?
But hold on. If you are engaging in overtime, and this is obvious, Lord, if you are engaging in overtimes, it tells you that the people of Trinidad and Tobago, your customers, should be getting a better service. Yes.
Yeah, we suppose the overtime had to be some.
But is it that we are getting a better service? No. Hold on. I remember at one joint select committee meeting where one of the top operators of WASA would have said that they are looking at pursuing in getting a rate increase. And this rate increase is not really to provide better service to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, but to help pay the salaries. How obscene can you be?
All right, so it doesn't make sense. You're having a rate increases and you have inefficiencies and you don't have the entity running efficiently. So we'll look at it, but you see, we'll be forced to get efficient or something now because the money just not there.
No, the thing about it, COVID-19 would have presented an opportune time for the government of the day to start over afresh. If you understand my arguments, to start over afresh, to look at the way they manage the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. Look, decisive actions have to be taken, you know. You must, go ahead.
For political support, the government, the past governments, all have failed to really address the country efficiently. And now we reach against a wall right now. Sink or float, we have to take drastic action that affect us, which would not have affected us so much had we done the correct thing years ago.
Well, I totally agree with you. A lack of foresight, a lack of vision, poor management, putting square pegs in round holes.
Right now we see plenty oil money there, so tell me everything got done, and that is it. But right now we have to cut that. But that's somebody else make a contribution. All right,
well, thank you. Yeah, well, that comes under the headline of a poor management. And we're in a situation now, because of what I would have outlined before, just tick the box. Lack of foresight, lack of vision, proper management, square pegs in round hole, political appointment, people who cannot do the job, but because of their affiliation, they are placed in what you call key public offices. Those are some of the reasons why we are in a situation like this today, you know. And we have to face the reality. Decisions will be taken. We may not be too comforted by it, but this is the way. These are some of the decisions which must be taken by Finance Minister Coleman Bird. But 3 things yesterday he would have said, or rather 2 things. Announcement: there will be no interference with a senior citizen pension or people's pension, and 1, there will be no devaluation. So I think that should be taken into context. But I don't know. My understanding is that, and this is from inside information I would have gotten, that Finance Minister may look at increasing taxes on alcohol and cigarette. Yeah. Alcohol and cigarette. Well, we see how that factors in next week, Monday, when he makes that presentation. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to you, Bawani. How are you going?
I good. I know wake up.
Well, I am not a financial expert, nor am I an economist, but I can tell you, based on what I'm hearing outside there from people in the know, that we may have to pay more for alcohol and we may have to pay more for cigarettes.
I don't have a problem with that, you know. You could carry that sky high. You understand? No, but on all seriousness, those are things that we need to raise prices on.
Yeah, but you would have been one of those persons who would have suggested that maybe, or rather commented that the finance minister may look at devaluing our dollar, yes?
Well, I mean, a lot of speculation went on with a lot of people, eh? But as he explained it yesterday, it wouldn't make much sense.
Well, it wouldn't make much sense because if you devalue the dollar, inflation automatically goes up.
Yeah. What they need to do is, well, ever since I grew up, I always had a problem with unions. Because they always ask for more and they give you less. You ever hear any union tell any worker, or let go to work and give a fair day's work for a fair day's pay? It will be realistic. Remember the other day joke saying, don't touch one worker in Wassa. But Wassa is overstaffed. You understand? When you have 5 men to do one piece of work, and they're spending 2 hours on the job, the job finishes in half an hour, you know.
No, but think about it. You would have to understand too that there must be a balancing act. And let's be honest. Wassa and TNTech have always been quote unquote a dumping ground for party hacks.
Yeah.
Right. So whether any decision is taken to, let's say, cut staff, there will be political repercussions.
Of course.
And there will be fallout.
Of course.
So what do you do?
Yeah. Well, you have to take the bullet by the horn, eh?
All right. Okay. Your thoughts on Carnival 2021 now being cancelled,
well,
according to Prime Minister?
Like I said in our Facebook post last It will bring back some sanity to the country, and I'll tell you why. I mean, Carnival has been known to be a money spinner in the past, but with the way it's going now, maybe it's a time for reflection. And at least you know that Carnival Monday and Tuesday will become normal working days. At least you know that the children wouldn't take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to be holidays. And all the pre-Carnival activities just mash up the school too. Carnival and Christmas time are the most lowest productive times in our country's life. We know that. You understand? But this year, with all of the trade cuts, we will see an increase in production and value for money. Understand? I could understand, yes, you'll be losing, but you'll be gaining in the other sense. People will come to a level of respectability and that kind of stuff.
All right, Bhavani. Well, thanks for your contribution with us here this morning. We're heading up to the hour of 7 o'clock. Thank you, Bhavani. Yeah. Now, there's a very interesting development taking place here because I don't know how many of you would have been following this story, but listen to this. Patriotic Energies and Technologies Company Limited. But I will continue with that. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning to you.
Hello, pleasant good morning to Trinidad and Tobago on the exceptional host of the 97.5 program to you, Kendrick. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Yeah. I'm on my way up to Grandy. I left town this morning and, I have a long run there. Heading up to do a little job up there, thank God. I want to make an observation. We know that we're heading into hard times ahead, or hard time are reach. So why it is the traditional way of the government workers is you're starting to work about 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock, and you're leaving your office to go back home at 1, 2 o'clock in the evening time. Why we can't change that, that tradition and get up to stay in office and perform until 4 o'clock in the evening to get the money's good, just like in the WASA scenario, all right? And, I want to compliment the Minister of Finance for not devaluing the dollar. That shows that they have some level of seriousness to stabilize the economy and bring things back to normal. And I heard that they was talking about to Gary Griffiths yesterday, which is nice of him to call in and kind of clarify things. But I would step back a bit, and I'm waiting to see how that scenario unfolds. Thank you very much.
Okay, but
have a nice day.
Well, thank you very much. You mentioned the culture of our public servants. Well, this is not something new in Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, this has been with us ever since I was growing up, where you have public servants. Some of them, that is, let's go to work on mornings and look at the time and do not get engaged in any sort of real production. It's part of our culture. I don't know whether we can change that or not. But yes, we'll continue to look at the developments more so as Budget 2021 will be read by Finance Minister Colm Imbert on the 5th of next month. Right, so I'm telling you about this story here now. Patriotic Energies and Technologies Company Limited, the company owned by the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, has until October to conclude negotiations for the acquisition of Petrotrin's mothballed refinery. This was stated yesterday by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley at a government-hosted forum spotlight on the budget. Dr. Rowley said there was a date-specific deadline of October for a contractual conclusion and that the government expected to get a specific response in a specific time. And if by the end of October there is no conclusion to a way forward, and by conclusion I mean contractual conclusion between the state and Patriotic, then we'll have to look at other options. So by the end of October, a decision should be made or will be made as to whether or not Patriotic will be given the necessary green light, blessings to operate the Point-de-Pierre refinery. So we'll continue to look at that story, right? And it has also been said that Patriot had hoped to begin operations in early 2020. Well, we are approaching the end of 2020, you know. In February 2020, Dr. Rowley said the Parliament, or rather told the Parliament, there was a slight hold-up on Patriotic's end as the organization requested additional data on the plant. However, to this end, the OWTU has denied this. So what's the truth? What's the truth here? And in other developments, remember we would have been talking about that story, and I would have spoken to the president of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, one Mr. Alan Ferguson. Well, listen to this. Heritage Petroleum Company Limited intends to dispose of its obsolete assets through a public tender process, allowing bids from all interested parties. This as the company on Saturday denied claims it had committed to engage the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association as the sole buyer of scrap metal from the former Petrotrin refinery. Well, if I get time, I will try to get in touch again with Alan Ferguson to get his thoughts on this matter. Meantime, president of the group, Alan Ferguson, said the association had been lobbying to purchase the former Petrotrin assets since 2018. So those are some of the stories that we are following, and we'll keep you up to speed. Later too on the program, I'll be trying to get in touch with former government minister Vasant Bharat to get his thoughts on the internal election of the United National Congress. There was a story yesterday where Mr. Bharat is reported to have said that he is interested in challenging Kamala Prasad Bisesa for the leadership of the party. Stay with us here. That and much more on today's edition of UTalk 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. I'll be right back, or rather, we're heading up to the 7 o'clock newscast with Uma Ratan Singh. And when we come back, we'll continue 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, powered by RCL Communications Network.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for major news to the hour. It comes to you with the very kind compliments of Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Leisha Limited, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and Darpan Trading Company Limited.
This is the 7 a.m. news on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Uma Ratan Singh. Good morning. We begin the news with Ministry of Health updates and concerns as COVID-19 cases continue its community spread. As of last evening, the ministry reports 4 additional persons have tested positive for the virus. Number of samples submitted to CARFA, UE, and other local sites for testing, 30,765. Number of samples which have tested positive at public and private facilities, 4,386. Total number of active cases, 2,039. Number of deaths, 72. Number of persons discharged from public health facilities, 931. Number of recovered community cases, 1,344. A 35-year-old Longdenville man was arrested on Sunday for possession of a firearm and ammunition. Officers of the Central Division Task Force and Longdenville Mobile responded to a report around 11:20 p.m. of a person who was allegedly in possession of a firearm. According to police reports, upon arrival at the victim's home, she indicated that she had a dispute with her ex-boyfriend and he was in the bedroom with a firearm. However, the suspect was confronted by the officers where he directed them to the firearm which was resting on top of a wardrobe. Police recovered a semi-automatic pistol with 1 magazine and 8 rounds of live ammunition. The suspect was arrested and taken to the Chaguanas police station. A 36-year-old mother appeared before Mayaro magistrate yesterday to answer to 5 counts of failing to report suspected sexual assault against her 14-year-old and 17-year-old daughters, while her 40-year-old male companion appeared to answer to 7 counts of sexual penetration of a child and 1 count of sexual touching of a child. The 2 were held following an intensive investigation by an officer of the Eastern Child Protection Unit. The Water and Sewerage Authority is advising citizens that it is expected to carry out upgrade work at the booster pumping station in Diego Martin on Wednesday between the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, the works will cause an interruption in the pipe-borne water supply in St. Lucian Road from KFC to Gopal Street, inclusive of all side streets, and Moncoco Road from Sierra Leone Road to Cassie Drive, inclusive of all side streets. For further information or assistance, customers are asked to contact WAS's Customer Service Center. And as we move across regionally to Guyana, President Irfan Ali government has begun the distribution of the promised $25,000 COVID-19 relief grant to citizens. According to the president, a full team has traveled to the regions, and distribution on Saturday is expected to take approximately 6 days, while the rest of Guyana is expected to receive their grants during the week. The Guyana president assured that the team is working towards reaching every household for the distribution. And as we switch across the globe internationally to the UK, according to a BBC report, there have been COVID-19 outbreaks in about 40 universities across the UK thus far, and there is every chance that the number will rise as more universities get the term underway. It is not exactly the university experience that students imagined. They are under pressure from the lecturers to switch to all online teaching and get students home rather than to create a loop tape of COVID-19 outbreaks. And on to the weather forecast for today. Trinidad and Tobago will experience a few showers during the morning, which will quickly give way to predominantly hot and sunny conditions. Seas will be slight to moderate with waves 1 to 1.5 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. High tides at 3:10 p.m. and low tides at 8:44 a.m. and 9:06 p.m. The current temperature is 28 degrees Celsius and expected to reach a high of 33 degrees Celsius as the day progresses. And that brings us to the end of the 7 a.m. news on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Join us at 8 a.m. for more news. I am Irma Ratensing, wishing you a safe and productive day ahead. Back to Kenrick Jagannath for more on UTalk.
Well, thank you very much, Uma, for that 7 o'clock newscast. Note that you can join Uma again at around 8 o'clock for another newscast. You are with 975 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It's UTalk. We are into the second hour. Let's go to our sponsors this morning. And when I come back, we'll continue with our discussion. 975 FM Hot Like Pepper, powered by RCL Communications Network.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
We shopping at Durban Supermarket. Hey, come down. We'll value at Durban Supermarket. Shop now at Durban Supermarket. Come to Durban Supermarket. We got the best prices for your pockets. Get real value for your money. Durban Supermarket treats you like family. Nothing overpriced, it's guaranteed for sure. Save big at Durban and shop even more. Real value to Durban Supermarket. We got the best prices for your pockets. Take advantage of unbelievable deals at Durban Supermarket, number 28 Foster Road in Sangre Grande. Durban Supermarket and Investment Limited, giving you real value for your money.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations: Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
It's the talk of the town. It's Talk It Talk on U975 FM, Monday to Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. So join me, your host, Mukesh Baburam, on a 3-hour journey guaranteed to take your stress away. Remember, Monday to Thursday, right here on U975 FM.
Yes, and a very good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago, and thanks for staying with us here at 975. Well, with us on the line now is a former government minister of Vasan Bharat. Certainly yesterday, I would have alerted you to a story as published in one of the newspaper where Mr. Bharat would have indicated an interest or showed some interest in challenging Kamla Prasad Bisesa for the leadership of the party. Let's take him live on the air. Good morning, Mr. Bharat, and thanks for taking our call on this very, very busy Tuesday morning indeed. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kenrick, and good morning to your listeners.
All right. First of all, let's touch on some of the announcement made by Finance Minister Colm Imbert yesterday. And I say this to you because there would have been speculation that maybe the Finance Minister could look at devaluation. More so, there were reports circulating that the Finance Minister, in preparation of the budget 2021, would actually make some sort of or interfere with senior citizen pension and national insurance and so on. Are you comforted to some level of what the Finance Minister would have announced yesterday at that forum?
Well, remember this is a pre-budget declaration of the state of the economy, essentially, and some of the measures that he's likely to take. Now, he's basically just laying the ground, essentially preparing people for what's likely to come. I do not believe that there will be a devaluation. I think he may have mentioned that yesterday. I didn't listen to him, but I suspect he will not have a devaluation. And the reason for that is the significant level of imports that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago will mean that there will be tremendous hardship on the citizens if there is a devaluation. Because, of course, if there's, let's assume there's a 30% devaluation, it means that automatically everything goes up by 30%. And the reality is that almost everything we consume is imported, 80% of the food we consume. So you would have a huge spike in the cost of food. You would have a huge spike in the cost of medication, in the cost of clothing. So the cost of living would skyrocket almost immediately. Even for goods that is already in Trinidad and Tobago that would have been paid for at the rate of $6.80, you know what will happen. Those goods also will go up in price, even though the cost of the US dollar would have been $6.80. The new price will be based on the devalued price of the dollar. So the cost of living would go up automatically, and you would not be in a position to increase people's wages immediately. So you will have a mismatch between what people can afford and what the cost of living would be for basic items. So I think that would create unnecessary social and economic hardships on the population. So that is not something that I think would be feasible.
All right,
at this point in time.
Yeah, but based on what the minister would have said yesterday, he said that at this time there is no intention of him to interfere with senior citizen pensions and national insurance and so on. Are you comforted by that level of announcement?
Yes, I think that, the reality is that senior citizens' pension currently is not sufficient for many of them to live. I mean, if it is that some of them are fortunate to be living with their children and members of their family and so on, they may be able to make out with what they're getting. But in today's day and age, the senior citizens' pension isn't sufficient for those pensioners who are having to survive on their own. If they have to pay rent, the cost of medication as you get older becomes more expensive. Some of the medication isn't available on CDAP always. So it is quite a strain in many instances. A lot of pensioners are not quite sure, how they're going to live day to day. So I would certainly be looking at increasing old age pension to give old age pensioners a little bit more money in their pockets. Because, as I say, over the last few years, the cost of living has increased, and it's put more of a burden on those people. The reality, of course, however, Kenrick, as you know, the government does not have the revenues coming in that it did 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. They have not put in place any alternative measures to get alternative forms of revenue. And expenditure is likely to be higher than normal because of the cost of coping with COVID. And I'm not just talking about the health costs involved here. I'm talking also of the income support and the government grant support that they have pledged over the last 6 months to individuals and to corporate entities. So there is a huge cost involved in dealing with COVID that essentially comes out of the consolidated fund, whether it's borrowed money or generated money as a direct result of oil and gas and other forms. So the finance minister is going to have a very difficult and challenging time on Monday. My hope is that he is going to be able to look and focus, get his public servants to focus on where there is unnecessary expenditure in the public service, and there is a lot of unnecessary expenditure that can be that they can look at and clean up so that you have that excess funds going into more priority and more important areas.
All right. Well, yesterday the minister would have touched based on subsidies, and more so as you look at WASA and TNTech. Do you anticipate the cutting of subsidies to these two public entities, Mr. Barrett?
Again, it's a very difficult thing to do at this time for citizens. You remember, Kenrick, that a lot of citizens in the country, whether they're corporate citizens or whether they're individual citizens, normal people, many of them have lost their jobs. Many of them are working on reduced hours. What that means, and for businesses, many businesses are also closed or working on reduced hours. Restaurants, for example, there's no in-house dining. Rum shops and bars and so on are closed. So at this point in time, if utilities were to increase, I don't think that many people will actually be able to afford to pay the increased utilities. So it's pointless putting an additional burden on the citizens when you know that they're not going to be able to afford it or pay for it or increase their hardships. What the minister needs to do is to ensure that these public utilities are more efficiently run. I mean, we know the problems in WASA. We know the problems in TNTech. I mean, for example, it's very difficult these days to drive anywhere and not see a water leak and massive amounts of water being lost. I remember when we were in government, the report was that maybe 40% of water generated by WASA is actually lost through leaks because of aging pipeline works or because work is done by one ministry, it dug up the road is dug up, leaks are created again, and so there needs to be more efficiency in the running, and that's why I'm suggesting that he must have a team that is specifically focused on creating efficiencies in the public service in these areas that will then minimize the amount of money that's wasted and thrown at these utilities, and so therefore would not require an increase at this point in time in those utility rates.
Let's look at what is being discussed in the public there. And yesterday I would have spoken with two university lecturers, and they would have told me that there is some sort of expectation that maybe the minister could look at increasing taxes on alcohol, beverages, and also cigarette as a means to attract much needed revenue. Do you get that sort of feeling, Mr. Barrett?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because those are not, well, for most people, those are not necessities.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, I would not be against the imposition of taxes on what I would call discretionary or luxury items. In other words, items that you don't necessarily need on a day-to-day basis for living. I don't have a problem. I would certainly be looking at importation of luxury goods and an additional tax on those luxury goods, whether it's through value-added tax or whether it's through the imposition of higher duties on them. So things like champagne and caviar and high-end cheeses and things like that, I have no problem at all in additional taxes being put on those, because two things will happen. One, we will limit the amount of foreign exchange leaving the country as a direct result, and two, you would actually get more taxes from them, more revenue from the sale of those items, but you would still have them available for those people who want to afford them. So I don't have an issue at all of identifying what could be determined as discretionary items or luxury items that are not absolute necessity at this point in time, and taxing those further.
All right, as we talk on taxes, Mr. Bharat, many would have said that the finance minister should look at widening the tax net, so to speak, ensure that those people who are owing taxes to the government of the day, to ensure that they pay those taxes on time in this what you call a go-over season. I'm sure you'd agree with me.
Well, first of all, I think that there is a significant amount of leakage in the taxation system. That's the reason why the government has proposed the revenue authority. Now, the reality is, call it what you may, call it revenue authority, call it increasing the efficiency within the Customs and Excise and the Board of Inland Revenue. It doesn't really matter. If you were to transpose the existing processes and systems from the Board of Inland Revenue and the Customs and Excise directly into the Revenue Authority, then you would end up with the same mess that you have now. So it's really a question of understanding where the leaks are and collecting the taxes that are due to the country, and that is really where the problem is. There are a lot of people earning money in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not talking about pay-as-you-earn, of course, because of clearly the PAYE system works quite well, where you're taxed at the point of at the source. So your employer deducts your taxation and pays it to the revenue. I'm talking about those people who are self-employed and who, over the years, they find ways of not making the correct declarations, and that is where the government is losing a significant amount of revenue. So I'm not sure if it's wide. I don't know if it's widening the tax net. It's not really widening the tax net. What it is making the revenue collection more efficient.
All right, Mr. Bharat, let's shift gears here a bit and let's focus on the United National Congress and their internal election, which is due sometime in the month of November. I read with interest yesterday a report where you would have indicated an interest in contesting the leadership of this party. Share your thoughts with me on that.
Well, I think the UNC as a political party, having lost so many elections to the PNM, really needs to be looking at itself and determining whether or not it's serious about ever winning another general election. And much in the same way that you in your household will do introspection if certain things are failing, the United National Congress needs to do similar introspection. The reality is, if you continue to lose and you don't do any analysis of why you're losing, then if you do win, then it's always going to be a hit and miss kind of process, because you're not planning to win, because you're not putting in place, you're not understanding why you have continued to fail. And that has always been my issue with the UNC. It's not a question. I remain a lifetime member of the UNC. I'm a committed member of the UNC. But I want to be a member who is part of a winning organization. And I want to plan to win, not hope to win. And I think that there's no member of the UNC today that could be happy about the track record of the UNC in the last 10 years. We're facing another 5 years of being in opposition, when in fact we will face in the 2020 election probably the worst government this country has ever seen, or certainly for many, many decades in terms of performance prior to COVID. You will remember, and I've spoken about this on your program on many occasions on your station, the reality is that this government led us to, the previous government, the period 2015 to 2020, led us to 5 years of continued negative growth. This has not happened in Trinidad since 1983. And this is at a time when other Caribbean countries were experiencing growth and they did not have the natural resources that we in Trinidad and Tobago have. In last year, the government of Jamaica, or the stock exchange in Jamaica, was voted the most successful stock exchange in the world, and they were able to attract in Jamaica significant foreign direct investment. We were not able to attract any foreign direct investment. So the reality is that this was probably the worst performing government in the history of the country, and the UNC still failed to attract enough support to beat them. And my biggest issue is the kind of excuses that the party comes up with in defense of its losses. It's the EBC who has stolen the election, the PNM has stolen the election, the media is against them, without actually confronting the brutal realities of why you continue to fail. So yes, as a member of the party and a committed member of the party, I am for deep reform of the organization if we are to continue to be of relevance in Trinidad and Tobago.
But can you confirm to us this morning, Mr. Bharat, whether you would have made a concrete decision to challenge for the leadership of the party, or you?
I have made no concrete decisions at this point in time, Kenrick. I will certainly consider when the elections are called. I don't know when the elections are going to be called. I mean, remember, we are in a COVID situation. So although the elections are overdue by a year for the NATEX, and it'll be due this year in November for the leadership. I have to wait and see until when the election is called, and then make a determination as to whether in fact we will contest. As you know, in 2017,
yes,
we had planned to contest, but there were certainly irregularities that the party failed to address that would have created an unfair advantage to the political leader, who actually was on record as stating that she deserves to have this unfair advantage because she's leader of the party. And I'm talking about, advantages with regard to having a copy of the membership list when that was not made available to us, utilizing the Monday Night Forum to launch the candidacy of herself and her candidates when that was not made available to other competing candidates. These are kinds of issues that create trust problems for the population at large, because what the population then looks at is how you run your internal affairs of your own organization is how you intend to run the affairs of the country. And all of these things the party doesn't realize. There are people who are looking on. They may not be eligible to vote in your internal process, but they're looking on and observing how you conduct yourselves at home. And so therefore they make decisions on the wider picture of a national election based on how you conduct yourself within your own organization.
Even talking with political pundits, Mr. Bharat, they would have indicated that you are one of those persons who could look at leadership of the party, and some of them would have indicated that they would throw their support behind you. But time is running out on you. When I say you, I'm talking about those people who are willing to challenge Kamla Persad-Bissessar with an internal election due in November. We are coming to the end of September. That gives you about 1 month. How soon can you make us any sort of pronouncement that you will be contested?
Well, the only time that we will make any definitive pronouncement is when the date of the election is called. Only then will we have sufficient information to actually make a declaration as to what our intentions are. I don't intend to lead any team into battle if it is that we are placed at such a significant disadvantage that it's likely to have a negative outcome. Now, I'll also tell you this. There are many people, councillors in particular, who have reached out to me, but they are fearful of being victimized as other people have been victimized if they have supported any competing teams in the past. Many councillors have reached out to me in the last few weeks, and ex-councillors as well, and have pledged support, and they've told me that in 2017, when the last local government election was held and they went up for screening, the first question they were asked by the screening committee was, who did you support in the last internal election? Now, at that stage, the screening committee knew exactly who they supported. And once that support was not for Mrs. Bissessa, then those people were never reappointed as councillors. And so, therefore, there's a fear factor and a fear of being victimized by a number of these councillors and other activists, and many of them work in constituency offices, and they're fearful for their jobs if they are seen to be supporting anybody else. And so, therefore, I have no intentions of leading these people into battle if I am placing them knowingly at an unfair advantage. And so, therefore, I will essentially be jeopardizing their careers as a director.
All right, Mr. Bharat, my final question to you. Let me provoke you here a bit on this Tuesday morning. I use a term called political insurance, and there's a view being shared that Kamala Prasad Bissessa would have appointed or given quote-unquote safe seats to those people who are loyal to her, part of her national executive, in the hope or with the view or with the vision that maybe a scenario like this could present itself after the 2020 general election. Share your thoughts.
Well, clearly the population has pronounced on that, because they clearly the population was clearly of the belief that that exactly is what took place. In fact, Martin Daly wrote of that matter, and he utilized the same term, an insurance policy, and it has come to pass. But you see, the population has seen through that. They saw through it prior to the election. And let me say this, I have nothing against those members of parliament who are sitting in the House of Representatives today. They were asked, and clearly in many instances, they felt that this was a golden opportunity for them to be in a safe seat and to be a representative in the Houses of Parliament. The reality, however, is that it's reckless and irresponsible of the leadership of the party to foist some of those people on the population, because it does a great disservice both to the UNC as well as to the national population with regard to the possibility of the kinds of contribution. And this is not taking away from these people in any way. I'm just suggesting to you that it is a disservice, because many of these people are not ready to be members of Parliament. They're not equipped to be members of Parliament. And so, therefore, the Parliament is the chamber where laws are made that governs the lives of people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the government will come from time to time with pieces of legislation that may be inimical to the benefits of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And so, therefore, if the opposing side is unable to bring forward the kinds of arguments that are necessary to protect the interests of the people, then we are doing, as United National Congress, a great disservice to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and to future generations. Because remember, these laws sit on our statute books for decades sometimes, until they're reversed if they're found to be inimical. So the population has seen through this, and unfortunately they've seen the UNC, the United National Congress, in a very poor light as a direct result of this action.
But having said that, Mr. Bharat, you would appreciate that a healthy democracy depends on what you call a very effective opposition. And if they are dissent within the rank and file and membership of the UNC, it does not augur well for the future of the country. I'm sure you'd agree with me.
No, absolutely. That's exactly the point I'm making. You need a strong opposition to hold the government accountable. And unfortunately, what has happened in this situation is that the UNC has taken its membership for granted, because it feels that whoever they put, whoever the leader, and it's really not the party. This has become a situation of the leader elevating herself above the states of the party. So it has now become not the United National Congress, but it's become the leaders' plaything and the leaders' party. And so therefore, and as a direct result, and because of the degree of loyalty that the members of the party continues to express towards the party, in many instances, or certainly in all instances now, the membership of the party is taken for granted, because it is felt that whatever you foist upon them, whoever you foist upon them, they would just accept it and say, well, okay, that's the leader's position, or that's the party's position, and let's stay quiet. We don't like it, but let's not air our our issues in public. The problem, Kenrick, is that every single member of that party knows that there's no internal forum to debate any issues. There are no institutions that are working within the organization, from whether it's party organizer, whether it's street captains, whether it's constituency executives, whether it's the holding of the congresses and the assemblies. None of this has taken place in the last 10 years. And so therefore you really have what you call a pickup side that only gears itself up to to fight a general election or a local government election as and when it's called. And no organization can survive for any length of time with that kind of structure in place, or lack of structure in place.
Mr. Bharat, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us, and we'll talk again in the near future. Stay safe.
All right, Kenny. Thank you. My pleasure.
The voice there of a former government minister, Basan Bharat, sharing his thoughts with us this morning on two burning issue, or two matters, that is the internal elections of the United National Congress and budget 2021. Note that he would have indicated to us this morning that he has not made any decision as yet as to whether he will be challenging Kamala Persad-Bissessar for the leadership of the party. At this time, he's just considering and looking on as to what is happening. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 97.5. Good morning to you. And good morning to you, dear. How are you this morning?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. Well, you listened to Mr. Bharat this morning?
I did, and I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
I think a lot of what he said is true. I think he said that Parliament is a place where you have legislation. You need very, very sound and educated and learned people who understand the rules of law and can advocate as an opposition. And I think too often we have people who get in Parliament, who become MPs or senators, and they go in Parliament, and when they are arguing debating these issues that come before Parliament legislation, they're very weak. And I not say talk, use big words or sound like you're so esoteric and you're so learned, but just understanding the basic laws, some of them don't even know. And a lot of time when they get to Parliament, they're reading information for the first time. So many times they mispronounce words. I'll give you a good example. Ramona Ramdiyal was one of the worst speakers in Parliament. Every time she would get up there, it was like she was just practicing on a platform, and you can't do that. You're playing with people's future. You're debating about money, you're debating about rules, you're debating about lives, fundamental rights, constitutional rights, jail term, all kinds of stuff. You're debating about justice and human rights.
Well, hold on. No. Let me pose a question to you here this morning, dear. Mr. Bharat would have indicated that this morning that he's considering challenging Kamala Persad-Bissessar for the leadership of the party. Your thoughts on his, let's say, intent to challenge?
He's a very intelligent guy, but I've never heard him debate before, and I think Ms. Persad-Bissessar has a lot of experience. She knows global politics, geopolitics. She knows how to talk the talk when she goes before Parliament. I think she makes a good argument. Same thing with Rudal Munilal. He's a very good speaker. I think that she's standing firm because she's got some support behind her, and there are people around her who are advising her to stay firm, and they want her to stay in power. And I think sometimes when you have, she's been there for a long time, and if he could challenge her on merit and on good basis, I think go for it, That is my comment. Okay,
well, thank you very much, dear, for your thoughts this morning as we head up to the hour of 8 o'clock. There's about 20 minutes here to the hour of 8. That time check came to you through the kind courtesy of Radio 975, powered by RCL Communications Network. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Hey, Ken, morning.
Good morning to you, Brian. How are you this morning?
I am good.
What's happening? Well, you listened to my conversation with Mr. Barrett this morning, yes?
Most attentively.
Go ahead. What's on your mind? Share your thoughts with me.
Well, as much as he's entitled to his opinion, right, a gentleman who I have great respect for, however, I would like to say that it is not true that the party is not functioning. When in fact the party has functioned very well. Constituency executives that I have been meeting up to now, I am still meeting them. I meet them virtually. Just last week I would have met with the executives for Arima.
No, but hold on. He's making a claim that the organs of the party are not functioning as it ought to, particularly the youth arm, the women's arm, and so on. Share your thoughts.
Well, that is totally not true either. I will use the youth arm and say that the youth arm is in fact very much functioning. In fact, during this period, the youth arm has been having a lot of virtual seminars, especially they had one on depression. As you know, but before issue of COVID-19 has caused a lot of issues for young people, where they are unable to access a lot of things. Our women's arm has been very much vibrant. In fact, the women's arm was able to go into Biotaria and did some work. So that is not true. And even at the level of the national executive, where we are constantly meeting with other organs as well as the organs of that of the constituency executive, the regional coordinators. I am in fact a regional coordinator myself. So I don't agree with that. Respectfully, I disagree. But like I said, everyone is entitled to their opinion. I just wish to also state that the party has been calling congresses when it is due, right? In fact, Mr. Barrett attended one. And he in fact saw that everything was done properly. Motions were even carried, motions were even passed. So I find it very hard to understand that one.
All right, Brian. Well, let's leave it there for a while and we'll continue with this level of conversation. Stay with us here, 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Let's go up to some commercials this morning.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him. Praise Him.
Gosh, boy. I can't wait to go home now.
Stuck in traffic again, Hare Babri.
Well, guess what? Your day is about to get hotter than ever in the afternoon. It's the new afternoon drive time program on U 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Tune in Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavia Experience. Let's make it hotter than ever in the afternoon. Great music, great info, and great vibes. Hotter than ever in the afternoon. Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on U 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
It's the talk of the town. It's Talk It Talk on U975 FM Monday to Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. So join me, your host Mukesh Baburam, on a 3-hour journey guaranteed to take your stress away. Remember, Monday to Thursday, right here on U975 FM.
Hop on the gospel train with yours truly, Carl Radler, right here on your favorite frequency, U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, every Saturday morning from the early hours of 4 to 6 a.m. A mixture of the best gospel music and worship. It's a gospel train. Hop on every Saturday morning from 4 to 6 a.m. U975 FM, we're number one and everyone else is number two.
All things you reign, may the palm may Jesus trade.
This is Samaru Ramu inviting you on a journey down memory lane with enchanting songs on the program Nightline, Mondays to Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Let your heart sing along with the music on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Just about 14 minutes here to the hour of 8 o'clock. Well, with me on the line now is Saeed Mohammed. Most people in San Fernando and environs will know him as one of the Carnival band leaders in the southern city. No doubt, as we look at Carnival 2021, according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, has been cancelled. So I want to talk to Saeed and get his thoughts on this matter. Good morning, Saeed, and thanks for taking our call this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kenwick, and good morning to your listening audience.
Well, indeed,
Hope you all are having a good time today.
Well, it's been a while since I would have spoken to you, but anyway, welcome to today's edition of the morning program.
It's always a pleasure, yeah.
All right. Now, Carnival 2021, as announced by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley yesterday, has been cancelled. What does that mean to you and your membership and for Carnival lovers in San Fernando? Are you comforted by the decision taken, or is it a bit too premature at this time?
Well, Kenwick, I've been having a lot of calls from my masqueraders and so on. I want to know if Carnival is on. And I will just respond to them and let them know, well, based on the COVID situation, I do not think it is wise at this time to make any such decision. Going to the decision made by the Prime Minister yesterday, I am in agreement, but not to say cancel. I would have said, look, let's postpone. So maybe we can probably look like later down in the year, mid-year, somewhere around July, August, if that's the case, We can also start gauging up and see, look, around November, December. Folks, you know what? We are seeing a decrease in the numbers of reported cases and so on. So I think what we can do is around July, August, we can probably look at a carnival. And I tell you why, is that there's a lot of money masqueraders put out in order to have a carnival. That's one. Two, you have a lot of people out there, vendors and so on, who look forward to be making this extra money. You see? However, we all have to be mindful of the fact that the situation we are in right now, we cannot and should not be thinking about carnival, because what we have just about 6 months again before Carnival, we should say, yeah.
What does this mean to, let's say, businesses in and around the city of San Fernando, the cancellation of Carnival 2021? Certainly, there would be some sort of negative impact, yes?
Yes, it will have some negative impact. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of business people and so on who look forward to make the extra earnings around this time. However, this is a situation where everybody the entire population, even the world, my extension, they are experiencing some difficulties in earnings and so on. And we have to understand the situation we are in right now.
Mm-hmm. On another note here, aside, I'm hoping that maybe you can meet with your membership or other band leaders from San Fernando to discuss going forward. When I say going forward, talking about a virtual carnival, is there a possibility, or how challenging this can be for you and the fraternity in South Trinidad?
Well, I'm not sure how successful a virtual carnival will be. I tell you what, people like to come out on the street, getting together. I mean, you look at how carnival is in our country, even throughout the world. You cannot be separated and all these things. It's a togetherness, yeah? So a virtual carnival will not be a success, and I don't think band leaders are really thinking about a virtual carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, according to Randy Glasgow, who is the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association, he's saying that an all-inclusive discussion should be held with stakeholders as to look at Carnival in 2 weeks virtually. But you are saying that it will be quite challenging to even promote such, yes?
Yes, it will be difficult to
All right.
also have some folks having these virtual parties.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a total mess in that sense, it's not successful and so on.
All right. So, unlike other band leaders, you are in total support of this decision taken by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for the cancellation of Carnival 2021.
As I say, I am in agreement with the decision not to have it at this time.
At this time.
Not a cancellation, but we can say, hey, let's postpone. Let's look at if it's possible to have it later on in the year. Because I tell you what, a lot of bands would have already put things in place for Carnival next year. Because when one Carnival is finished, just as one Carnival is, you start preparing for the other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of preparations would have gone into preparations for the following year. So, I mean, everybody has to be smart about this. The situation we're in is not a normal situation, and we do not want to continue with the spread. I mean, it's ridiculous the kind of numbers we would have here now, you see, and we do not want to continue with the spread. We need to be a responsible people and follow the guidelines. And once we see the numbers are dropping off and we get back to a state of normalcy, I think then we could probably consider mid-year. That's just my take on it. But to say cancel, I am not in so much of support for it, but I am happy that we're not going to have it in the normal time, per se. Yeah.
All right. Said, are you prepared to meet with other band leaders in San Fernando to make some sort of proposal to the government of the day, more so Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and by extension the Minister of Culture, to host some sort of celebration lower down in the year? We're looking at probably around October, November, around there. Are you prepared to have any sort of consultation with other band leaders?
Yes, Kenrick. Yes, definitely. I mean, the San Fernando Band Leaders Association and so on, we will plan something. And, I mean, we have a little discussion maybe in a month or so, and then we approach the government of the day.
All right.
Yes, we can, get something out there. Yeah.
All right. Said, I want to thank you very much for sharing some thoughts with us this morning. All the best to you, my friend. Stay safe and say hello to your lovely wife for me. Thank you very much.
Well, let me say thank you for having me, and I want to just urge everyone out there to be safe, be responsible, and practice all your COVID protocols. We need to get rid of this thing. Christmas is coming just now, and I mean, people want to have a good time. People like to go shopping and all these things. I mean, you're out in your groups and things again, yeah? We don't want to be spoiling things out there, and let it go, be worsening.
All right.
So thank you again for having me, and have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you very much. That's the voice there of Said Mohammed, one of the band leaders operating out of San Fernando, sharing his thought with us. But like other band leaders, Carnival band leaders. He is in total agreement with the decision taken by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Let me remind you of this. A number of stakeholders, promoters and Carnival band leaders agreed with the Prime Minister that the health and safety of citizens to be the number one concern in staging Carnival, and also admitted that they all but expected the postponement and the cancellation. The Prime Minister yesterday would have said, quote, "I can put everybody on notice that unless there is some dramatic wind that will blow across us where by Christmas the pandemic would have been a thing of the past, Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago in 2021 is not on. Let us be thankful that we all are still alive to see each other's face. Let us remember what our country passed through in 1918. Talking here about the Spanish flu. 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. We're moving up to the hour of 8 o'clock. That's about 5 minutes here to the hour of 8. Let me keep you a bit entertained this morning as I prepare for the 8 o'clock newscast. 975, powered by RCL Communications Network. But I have this caller here on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome. Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, well, what is all this Carnival now? I happen to listen to it. You all right, everybody?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have this dry cough, my friend, since last year since I came back from Houston, boy. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Well, I listened to some stakeholders
Mm-hmm.
this morning, and a lot of them have a lot of issues, a lot of concerns. Some were saying that there was no consultation with them. I listened to the Pan Tobago president. She was saying that the Minister of Culture has not spoken to them on this. So you're hearing already stakeholders beginning to make a big will you use brouhaha out of this?
No, but in light of all of that, a number of organizations, religious organizations, cultural organizations, would have, let's say, put off, cancelled, postponed their celebrations. Let's look at Diwali Nagar. They too would have said that they would have, put the 2020 celebration on the back burner. So the Prime Minister was in a very comfortable position in making such an announcement. I do think that he needed to get involved in any sort of consultation with band leaders and so on. He would have hinted that if the figures continue to rise, and the figures continue to rise in Trinidad and Tobago, the discussion centering around Carnival 2021 is not warranted at this time. Your thoughts?
Well, I am of the belief that if this pandemic goes into 2021,
Mm-hmm.
the issue of, if you would remember that in January of 2020, there was the issue raised as to whether Carnival would be held.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yes, Carnival will be held.
Because we didn't have the figures in front of us, Brian.
Right. So, Carnival was in February.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, March came, COVID came. So, these are things that we need to look at. I would have to say that if in 2021 there's no pandemic of it again, fine, then there's Carnival. If there is still COVID-19 lingering, then the government has no choice but to take that decision.
Well, I think a decision has already been taken, Brian, because it's a bit too late now. Because if you announce that Carnival will be held in, let's say, early next year, I think that band leaders will be scrambling, running around like headless chicken, trying to put all the infrastructure in place. And I agree with the Prime Minister, in total agreement. I do think discussions around Carnival or Carnival 2021 should be something on the front burner. I'm just dealing with the discussion here. But the figures continue to rise in Trinidad and Tobago. We are bordering on close to over 4,500 positive cases in the country. And here it is, like I said, other cultural organizations, religious organizations would have postponed their celebrations and so on. So the Prime Minister had no choice but to make such an announcement. Whether it's a premature or not, well, that's a discussion we can have. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Good morning, Henry.
And good morning to you, Chris. How are you keeping? Good morning.
I'm keeping right, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want consultation, what?
Yeah, because the figures are in front of us. Yeah.
Eh?
The figures are in front of us.
Everybody know what we need. Every child in this country know what we need. We consult what? Everybody want to be a boss. that they want to say they get this, that they get that. You don't have an economy that is shambles. You don't have enough money to go around. Be a consultant. And most times when we want this and we want that and we want next thing. Carnival, we can't have carnival, as simple as that. We can't spread disease further. So close on the carnival. The Wajinagar, whatever celebrations, we were all in Calypso show and we had to respect the situation. Right now it's not Trinidad and Tobago, it's the whole world. And what we should be doing is concentrating our efforts on what after COVID. Where are we going after? How long do we think we're going to be into this situation? A year, 2 years, 3 years? 3 years will be here with us for COVID. What's going to happen during those 3 years? How are we going to survive? We can't think about developing right now. We got to think about survival. At this point in time, the survival of the fittest, and plan for when things change and the economy get back to it.
All right, Chris, we have to hold it here for a while. Like, you can call me after the 8 o'clock hour. I need to get up to the 8 o'clock newscast. Yeah, thank you very much. Folks, 8 o'clock here in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's take the 8 o'clock newscast with Umar Ratan Singh. And when we come back, we'll continue with our third hour.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for major news to the hour. It comes to you with the very kind compliments of Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and Darpan Trading Company Limited.
Welcome to the ATM News on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Umar Ratan Singh. Good morning. A medical practitioner is warning that the government's health system of administering the H1N1 vaccine to the general public can cause a serious increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. The doctor recently criticized the Ministry of Health for not outlining a clinical and systematic approach of accommodating so many patients at various public health centers, which sets the stage for an intense explosion of COVID-19 cases. The medical practitioner alerted that the health facilities can now become hotspots for the exposure to the deadly virus. And continuing with the MOH, as the North Central Regional Health Authority is currently investigating circumstances surrounding the death of a COVID-19 patient while receiving treatment at the Arima General Hospital. Reports indicate that on Sunday, the man fell to his death from the third floor of the hospital. According to a release from the NCRHA Chief Executive Officer Davlin Thomas, who claimed that the man was admitted on September 25th and was responding positively to treatment. He was swabbed upon admission and on Saturday was advised of the result, at which time he was not confused, delirious, or showed signs of depression. However, his next of kin had been advised of his passing, as well as his COVID-19 status, and contact tracing protocols were initiated to contain further spread of the virus. An investigation has been launched into the incident. And moving on to news of education. Education Minister Dr. Nayan Gatsby-Dolly says the distribution of funding for the nominational schools will begin within the next few days. This as she was responding to complaints from the denominational boards of education and principals that they were running out of cleaning material and other supplies. But Minister Gatsby-Dolly said the distribution is on stream and everything is set for this week. She explained that the ministry has been working towards getting the funding for the schools. Minors in various communities throughout TNT are experiencing abuse, either physical or sexual.
In the first incident of sexual abuse, a 19-year-old unemployed Maloney man has been arrested by officers of the Port of Spain Child Protection Unit for allegedly sexually assaulting his 14-year-old aunt. The man was expected to appear before a Port of Spain magistrate yesterday, charged with 1 count of sexual penetration of a minor. According to police reports, the man was arrested on September 26th following a report made by the 14-year-old female that while she was at home sleeping on the couch, she was awakened by the male relative who was sexually penetrating her. And in a case of physical abuse, a 26-year-old Cocorite man appeared before a Port of Spain magistrate yesterday, charged with 1 count of cruelty to a child. The man was arrested on September 23rd and charged with the offense following an inquiry into an alleged assault which occurred on the day of his arrest. According to police reports, the 8-year-old victim told police while he was asleep, the accused allegedly used tie straps and bounded his hand and dealt him several kicks and cuffs about his body, causing him bodily injuries, while his twin brother witnessed the abuse. An officer of the Western Division Child Protection Unit further investigated and reported the matter, and upon completion, charged him for 1 count of cruelty to a child. And moving on across regionally to Barbados. Barbados has placed the United Kingdom in the category of high-risk countries as the country deals with a new wave of COVID-19. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in conjunction with the Barbados Tourism Marketing, released the country's updated travel protocols, which will see the United Kingdom moving to the high-risk category effective October 1st. And as we switch across the globe internationally to Nigeria, according to a BBC report, in a highly unusual tactic, militants suspected to be linked to the Islamic State group used a donkey strapped with explosive to ambush the convoy of the governor of Nigeria's northeastern Borno state. The latest ambush came after Governor Babagana Zulum survived an attack by militants while he was traveling to an area near Lake Chad on Friday. And moving on to your weather forecast, Trinidad and Tobago will experience a few showers during the morning, which will quickly give way to predominantly hot and sunny conditions. Seas will be slight to moderate, with waves 1 to 1.5 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. The current temperature is 28 degrees Celsius and expected to reach a high of 33 degrees as the day progresses. And that brings us to the end of the 8 a.m. news. Join us at 12 p.m. for major news. I am Irma Rattensing, wishing you a great day. Back to Kenrick.
Well, thank you very much, Irma, for that 8 o'clock newscast. Note that you can join us again for another major newscast coming up at 12 noon, powered by RCL Communications Network. You're with 975 FM Hot Like Pepper, the morning program. Let's go to some commercials here this morning. And when I come back, we'll be into our final hour. Note that when I come back, it's an open forum where you can share your thoughts with me. You can call us at 636-7547, 227-5739.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
We shopping at Durban Supermarket. Hey, come down. We'll value at Durban Supermarket. Shop now at Durban Supermarket. Come to Durban Supermarket. We got the best prices for the best prices for your pockets. Take advantage of unbelievable deals at Durban Supermarket, number 28 Foster Road in Sangre Grande. Durban Supermarket and Investment Limited, giving you real value for your money.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BT Sino, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chiguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations, Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chiguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
Greeting in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, powered by RCL Communications Network. Well, with me on the line now is Randy Glasgow, who was recently appointed chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association. We're going to talk Carnival 2021 this morning, or that announcement made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Good morning, Mr. Glasgow, and thanks for taking our call. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, good morning to you and your listeners in Trinidad and Tobago and across the world.
And all of you,
good morning.
Yeah, and you have always been a friend and a client of ours here at 975. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Certainly this announcement made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley as it relates to Carnival 2021, did it caught you by surprise, or were you expecting that announcement?
Well, it wasn't a surprise. I mean, the hints were there, and the circumstances, worldwide is not a good situation. So, the promoters and the members of our association expected that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of us openly suggested that, we cancel or we postpone until a vaccine is found.
Well, Mr. Glasgow, you and others in the fraternity would have been talking about a virtual carnival. What is the logistics in hosting a virtual carnival in this country, and how does it work out, and what are the challenges that you would face in doing such or engaging in such an event?
Well, it's no real challenges, we would say, but in these circumstances, I think, it would be in our best interest to cancel Carnival and not show the world something. So I think the opportune time is here to showcase our country in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
There are many things we can do, but it's feasible, it's workable. A lot of countries have done it, who have the Carnival and they had to cancel. London was one, New York was one, but Trinidad and Tobago is the Mecca. So if we are doing something, it have to be 10 times better than what London did and what New York did. So we are suggesting that, with immediate effect, the ministry, good for us, we have our Ministry of Culture and Tourism as one, to let the stakeholders discuss on a round table what is the way forward, how to do this virtual carnival. It's workable, it's not too costly because, the airtime on the Facebook and the YouTube and so forth, it's pretty reasonable. So we have a good option to showcase not only our carnival but our country. Let's show the world our country. If it's 2 weeks of events, every day, as the case may be, in the same rotation that we normally would have carnival, and present something good. It's a good opportunity, and I think we should grab it with both hands.
Well, a similar exercise would have, engaged in London and in New York. And I'm sure that in going forward that you will be meeting with other stakeholders to discuss this matter. Yes?
Yes, of course. With immediate effect, we from as early as today, this afternoon, the promoters are meeting and discussing. All the guys have different products, so and there are other major stakeholders in Carnival, the NCBA, the Pantry and Bago. They will have their ideas also. But the thing is, the plan is to meet, set budgets and present something, out of this world to the rest of the world.
But the cancellation of Carnival 2021 would be a bitter pill and a hard blow for some people. But given what is happening in front of us today, the figures in front of us are COVID-19. Outline to me, Mr. Glasgow, this morning, how this has impacted on your business, because you are one of the more, let's say, significant promoters in the country.
Of course, it will affect a lot of us. A lot of creatives, the musicians and so forth. They make the living by Carnival, and with no Carnival, it will set them back tremendously. We ourselves, since Carnival, we had to cancel about 9 shows. But it is what it is, and people's health and welfare comes first. So, in business, you have to prepare yourself for times when it wouldn't be so good, and these are one such time. However, we feel for the artists, the performers, the musicians, and so forth. That's all they do, that's all they know, and I think a conversation has to be started also. How do we support these artists who are in need? They have the family, they have the kids going to school and so forth, and they have no revenue coming in. So while we thinking about promoting a virtual event and so forth in the immediate future, we have to think about the musicians and those in the industry who can't help themselves. So, I'm sure, from the Promoters Association, we would make representation to the minister to let's start a conversation. How do we help those within the industry who need that help?
All right, Mr. Glasgow, Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago is a spectacular event indeed, and more so a spectator event. I spoke to one band leader from San Fernando, Said Mohammed, this morning, and he is of the view that maybe if, let's say, the figures are comforting to us like later on next year, mid-next year, getting into August, September, around there, well, there maybe we can have a carnival, maybe on a, let's say, a scaled-down basis. Would you support such a measure?
We will only support having a carnival, regardless of the size, until a vaccine is found. It's too dangerous to have people coming to assemble in huge numbers, not knowing their status, and this COVID is a terrible thing, and we have to be cautious. We have to protect those who need protection. So the thing is, if there's no vaccine, we suggesting we hold our hands until such time occur. If we're doing smaller events and it's feasible by the numbers set up by the Ministry of Health, that is cool. But the big events, 10,000 people, 8,000 people, 7,000 people, like that we will have in Chutney Brass and Chutney Land and so forth, that would be that will be off the cards surely until a vaccine is found.
Would you support this suggestion or view, Mr. Glasgow, that the world is looking on at Trinidad and Tobago? Note fully well that Rio Carnival has taken a hit also. Even carnivals in Europe would have taken a hit. They are looking at Trinidad and Tobago to set a template in this COVID environment. Share your thoughts with me on that.
And we should take the opportunity. I mean, when you look at sports, the IPL is happening in a bubble. You're seeing English football, you're seeing Italian football and so forth. And they are leaders in their rights in the respective sports and so forth. So we are leaders in the English-speaking world where Carnival is concerned. So as I said, we have to meet collectively. I mean, we have some brilliant minds within the entertainment industry. And if we meet with the support of the ministry and the government, I mean, people will be amazed what we can do and what we can present to the world. Not to sell Carnival, but to sell our country when it needs selling at this point in time. I mean, if you're doing events, virtually, use a beachfront, use a Maracas Beach, wherever it is. Let us utilize our historic sites, our places that can sell the country further, to showcase to the world. So it's not about just selling Carnival. Let's use the opportunity to sell Trinidad and Tobago and its products.
All right, let's shift gears here a bit now, Mr. Glasgow. Mm-hmm. The 2021 budget will be presented on next Monday. What are your expectations as it relates to the entertainment fraternity in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, basically, from where I sit and how I look at it, there's no expectation. We know it's tough, no money is being made, so to speak, as we normally do. Oil and gas prices are low and nothing is happening. So we are preparing for the worst. It's sad to say, but that's the reality of it. And we have to hope for the best, but we're not expecting anything at all for this industry. And the stakeholders, they know that. They know, I mean, in the chain of things, the entertainment is always the last. The last to be getting support. And you've seen it in the COVID restrictions and so forth. You have grocery opening or wherever it is. So there's no talk of, even the bars cannot open wherever it is because they are considered entertainment. So we are always the last on the chain to get and the first to take away. So we expect, we're hoping for the best, but we are prepared for the worst.
Mr. Glasgow, always a pleasure talking to you. Stay safe, my friend. Stay safe. And we'll talk again in the future. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the voice there of Randy Glasgow, who is the chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association, sharing some thoughts with us as a result of the announcement coming from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley with the cancellation of Carnival 2021. Stay with us here, 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Note that you can call us this morning at 636-7547, 227-5739. Well, according to Mr. Glasgow there, it was not surprising, the announcement coming from the Prime Minister. He is in support of the decision taken by the PM. Save life as opposed to Carnival 2021. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kimoti. Kimoti, you're not following the news, man. Last week I gave you kudos for being one of those elders in society who follow the news. There's no Diwali Nagar for 2020, Kimoti. That has been cancelled based on the COVID-19 and the figures presenting itself in front of us. All right, I hope I was able to answer your question. 975, 24 minutes past the hour of 8. You're with the morning program, powered by RCL Communications Network. Let's go to some commercials here this morning. Stay with us here, 975, but I have these callers on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Hi, morning, Ken.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. Yeah, good morning, yeah.
Right, Ken, we looking at Carnival and COVID at this time, but the whole world changed.
Yeah, that's quite true.
Nothing is going to go back the way it was. While we have a problem here with travel and the price of fuel fall to the bottom because, of course, nobody wants fuel. we have organizations that are working on clean energy right now. So by the time this thing changes, there's clean energy coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And that means oil and gas out the window, not totally at the beginning.
Yeah, but we must find a way to coexist with the virus,
Oh, yeah.
And that's the challenge we have. We cannot be doing things as usual. We must exist with the virus, because if a vaccine is not found, we cannot stay in our house 24/7. We cannot lock down the country.
I agree with you 100%. We have to find a way to coexist, but again, take discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And we should be most undisciplined planet.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how we try to get people to understand that certain things must be done in the interest of their own safety and the safety of the community and the country. Some people seem to want to flaunt that and just be who they want to be, macho man business.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we are getting there. I heard the Prime Minister talk about the budget and what we could expect. And I think one of the things that should happen, these state enterprises, they are just there where people have actually created something to give their friends a nice job, a nice cushy something. Close them down. Put the ministry back to work and close them down. If we do that, I think about 60% of the economy is saved. So that is my suggestion. Thank you much.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chris, for your contribution here with me this morning. Well, that point was raised with me by another caller this morning. We talk about efficiency in the public service, efficiency at a WASA, and also at a TNTech. But these are decisions which will be taken or ought to be taken by the finance minister, and certainly there will be fallout from these decisions taken, harsh decisions indeed. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning, Kenrick. How are you doing, boy?
Good morning to you, my friend, Mr. Davidi.
Well, the first thing I want to do
is congratulate me on something.
That interview you had with the Commissioner of Police.
Oh, yesterday, yeah.
Oh, boy, listen. And I'm saying to you that the other interview that I thought was probing was Dominic Kalipasad's interview.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what you do in journalism. You question, you listen to the people, respond, pay attention, don't be too anxious, calm and cool, and then you probe your other questions. I listened to the entire thing, and I say that Dominic Kalipasad did a great job, and I want to commend you for that interview yesterday, that interview with the Commissioner of Police. Very probing, very calm, reassuring, but you were able to get all the information and direct the questions in a very positive and direct way so that you would have to answer. So I think that was very good. But I also want to remind your listeners that when I did as an ordinary citizen, made my suggestions with respect to the budget, that it wasn't too far off.
Mm-hmm.
We have the spotlight on the energy.
Yeah.
Remember I said that somewhere in the vicinity of $40 to $42 billion we are spending. And I thought that because I went up on the site beforehand, I didn't have no crystal ball, so I tried to follow those things, trying to go into the data. And I really like the idea of what Mr. Muti made the point about the property tax and the reason why it has been done. And then the other point that I saw some interest in, which I know is going to be a challenge, and is for young people in particular, the question of the digitalization of the public service.
Mm-hmm.
That means that a lot of our people will have to retool themselves.
Well, I was going to talk about a rethinking of how we do business in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
More so among senior citizens.
That's right. That is going to have a serious impact. However, as I pointed out the last time, it's going to have some very important responses and very important for the people. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to see how much money they're going to put into that, so that process will move ahead. So I really support the idea. I was a bit I don't know if the word disappointed is it, but I thought that they had reached a better stage with respect to the patriotic energies.
Mm. Well, we according to the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, at the end of October, a decision will be made whether the company or Patriotic would be handed the operations of the refinery. Negotiations are still ongoing.
I I do hope that comes to positive fruition, because I believe that there is so much benefit for that if patriotic energy receive it, and as the open up of the economy in South and Central Trinidad.
Well,
I'm really looking forward towards that, and I hope that the government is going to make sure that they if not every iron, every key to ensure that the patriotic energy.
But you see, some people take issue with me, and they always accuse me of being a PNM and so on. But I ask the question: so if I'm a PNM, is that a brand of a brand of dishonor? And I say that to you because I took issue with people when they talk about the cutting of pension, the interfering with some of the grants, the interfering with national insurance and so on. I am saying to them, no, you have to take out the political yampy from your eye and look at what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago.
And no, that is just a joke, because I mean people recognize now that as you quite rightly said, I think you're in the state, but we're maintaining the in order to get ourselves out of this economic hole. One of the things that most countries have done is to maintain the revenue, the expenditure, so they will keep top and make sure. In doing that, you have to what it does is it ensures the jobs of a wide section of the population, so that they will have their livelihood. And this is the point I think you have been making. We are talking about life and livelihood.
And in addition to that, Mr. Davidi, I was very comforted yesterday when the finance minister would have announced, look, there will be no devaluation, contrary to what others are saying there. And I've been saying that for the longest time. I said, no, there's no possibility of a devaluation at this time. Should you do that, you will send inflation right up, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago cannot afford, to dip deeper into their pockets. What madness are you telling me about?
Yes, and then a very small percentage of people waiting for that. And they'll make maximum use of it, because there are people in the society who are poised to really make a lot of mint of money from devaluation. So I say that I just thought I will just share that, and I'm looking forward to that. I really hope that if I really want to get a wish, I would want to see that patriotic matter settled out. But I'm quite confident with the question of carnival. Well, that to me, I didn't even consider that, because I knew that. I mean, if you had carnival last year and this year you have that kind of situation, and knowing what carnival is didn't surprise me. But I'm happy that the people involved, the stakeholders, this is one of the times they have to sit down and think now, because many people believe that quite a few of them getting taxpayers' money without doing anything. Every year they just getting taxpayers' money. Every year they coming back and say they didn't make any money, and they didn't make any money. So some people are quite happy now. So let us see what they can do with a virtual carnival. Let us see what they can do with being creative and innovative, and be able to do something for themselves.
All right.
Finally, I don't know what is happening with the Trinidad and Tobago football. I don't know. These people are holding the young people, 10-year-olds and the 12-year-olds, putting their knees on their necks. They're not interested in football in Trinidad and Tobago. These people are the executives. They are only concerned and interested about themselves.
Right, and you were so right. And coming from a footballing background, Mr. Davidi, you will be very concerned as to what is happening with Trinidad and Tobago football. Last night was
very concerned, because I mean not only the football, but it presents an opportunity for young people in their development process. They get careers. They get opportunities. They fulfill their time with purposeful activity. And you just can't have four people in the executive holding the whole people to ransom. Thank you very much for the time, Kendrick. Always enjoy listening. And again, a very good interview with the Commissioner of Police.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Davidi, for your kudos and for all of the necessary support. Thank you very much for your contribution with us this morning. Always a very valued contribution coming from our good friend there, Mr. Davidi. Folks, I need to take a commercial break, but I have all of these callers here on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning, Kevin.
Hi, good morning, my friend. How are you going? What's happening, man?
I don't stay long. I go down and take you second. I want to three. I have a fourth suggestion I want to make. Now, I hear you read a news from the newspaper, the Newsgate, about Morilal having some school or some
No, yeah, it's the incomplete Ramai Trace Hindu School named after Dr. Rudal Munilal. He's calling on...
authority to put his name on school.
Well, he didn't put his name in. I think that a committee, a committee would have...
That's on the Mahasabha.
No, well, it must be in, let's say, collaboration with the Mahasabha. But I don't think that's the issue here this morning, whether the school name after him or not. It really make a difference.
That money, Munilal money, is the building school. And Munilal has no right to have no name. These are opposition person. This is a government minister, I have no problem. But here what happens? Take what you did, ask the government to build out the school. And after get the committee to install your name. Because you have no other school in the opposition leader, no opposition, this one and government. Who's the next government minister the name on a school?
All right, well, whatever the reasons for naming the school after Dr. Rudal Munilal is not of any interest to me. What is interesting is to know that this school is about 80% completed, and I find it very difficult to understand why measures have not been taken to complete the school. Children are suffering in this respect, and in this COVID environment, you have the opportune time to engage in all sort of infrastructure work to ensure that the school is completed. That's the point I'm making to you. Whether it's named after Dr. Rudal Munilal or whoever is not of interest to me. My interest is to ensure that the children in that jurisdiction get the necessary, let's say, infrastructure to continue with their education. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Yeah, something wrong, but you're getting cut off.
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind again?
Yeah. Now, if it had no carnival, the steel band authority is supposed to still get money, and the carnival band association, I think, supposed to still get money from the government, or they would not get?
No, it's a question you're asking me. I think that's a non-question. If there's no carnival, no steel band, no mass or whatever.
What consultation they want to have?
Well, I don't know. They don't
have to have no consultation, because if I give you money when there is carnival, and it have carnival, you have no money to get. Make all your money as well. And let me tell Barack something. Don't go into that election now, boy. Because even if you win, you could still have your, like you're sitting outside the doors and the executive. The people inside the house been surrounded by barbed wire. You can't do nothing with it. You remember other election went and what happened on that basket and all them fellas? You stay out of these people and thing and let it continue. And in FIFA, I want to know why Inferno wasn't questioning David Williams on what the money given him and what he was doing with it. And when Wallace go to FIFA, to the cast, I only hope that Wallace will bring up this kind of suggestion in cast. Why is the president of FIFA give another group money when they was doing nothing and didn't question what they was doing with it? I only hope that they will be and develop better football will continue with that.
All right, friend. Well, thank you very much for your contribution here with me this morning. Stay with us here, 975 FM Hot Like Pepper, 22 minutes here to the hour of 9 o'clock.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him,
Gosh, boy, I can't wait to go home now.
Stuck in traffic again, Hare Babri.
Well, guess what? Your day is about to get hotter than ever in the afternoon. It's the new afternoon drive time program on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Tune in Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavia Experience. Let's make it hotter than ever in the afternoon. Great music, great info, and great vibes. Hotter than ever in the afternoon. Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
It's the talk of the town. It's Talk It Talk on U975 FM, Monday to Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. So join me, your host Mukesh Baburam, on a 3-hour journey guaranteed to take your stress away. Remember, Monday to Thursday, right here on U975 FM.
Worship the Father, Holy Ghost, and the Son.
Hop on the gospel train with yours truly, Carl Radler, right here on your favorite frequency, U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, every Saturday morning from the early hours of 4 to 6 a.m. A mixture of the best gospel music and worship. It's a gospel train. Hop on every Saturday morning from 4 to 6 a.m. U975 FM, we're number one and everyone else is number two.
For all things you reign, may the palm may Jesus train.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. 19 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock. Time check, courtesy Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, powered by RCL Communications Network. Note that you can call us at 6367547, 2275739. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Good morning, Kendrick.
Good morning, dear.
Kendrick, I'd like to bring another issue to light. You know, the Prime Minister disclosed that they're over, the TSTT overbilled taxpayers like you and I and other people out there by $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe that because I experienced problem with our phone, and I spoke with several people and they had the same problem. TSTT has contracts with these kiosks, these little mobile kiosks you go to and you pay your money. Those are all privately owned. Some of them are owned by companies called SurePay. They're like little cash-paying places, and they get a commission or a fee every time you go there and you pay your bill. TSTT pays them something. The problem I have with those kiosks is it's set up like a little con game. What they do is when you pay your bill, and if you pay cash, most of the time you have to pay cash because a lot of times the machines are broke down and they only take cash. And they will give you a receipt that is like a little tiny receipt. And in 2 days or 1 day, it'll disappear. The ink will just evaporate, just disappear. And they don't, if you go back now and say, I paid my bill last month, and you dispute your bill, and you don't have a copy of that bill, they will say, we have no records of you paying. And you know, they do that a lot to people. They did that to me a lot for a whole year. I was paying into an old account, and my account was delinquent, and then they said I owed $2,000. They will not told. They turned my phone off. They never sent me a bill for 12 months. And every month we had problems with our line. And they came like 4 times to fix our line. Finally, they disconnected our phone. And I went to all of those B-Mobile places and I said, look, there's a problem. I used to tell them before. And they said, well, you need to call TSTT. And when you call TSTT, go back to B-Mobile. They send you back to B-Mobile. So as a customer now, you have to cross all these bridges back and forth, running back and forth. The other thing is like, when you go to B-Mobile and you're disputing this, they will just treat you like you're nobody, not even a customer. They have no customer service. So you're very angry as a customer. You come home. So I ended up paying $2,000. And when I called TSTT, she said to me, oh yeah, we found your credit. We will credit your account. And I was like furious because, why should? And I'm thinking I'm pretty fairly intelligent. I could just imagine how many people out there who have who don't know how to read and write, elderly people, and they have to go through this with TSTT. And when I went to the B-Mobile kiosk, I went to a Flow kiosk. There was a gentleman who was using now the computer outside, and he didn't know how to use it. And he called me over and he said, can you help me? And he was depositing cash. I feel like this country, the way we operate government enterprise, it's like, it's not geared to customer service that appreciating you,
They want to condemn you and they want to squeeze every penny out of you. And that is not how government works. That is not how democracy works.
All right, let's leave it there, ma'am. Well, similarly, I have a landline, 655-4631. And I've been having problems with that line for the past 2 months. That is to say, whenever I pick up the phone, I get what you call a busy tone, a busy dial tone. And I've been complaining to TSTT for the longest while now. And up to today, they haven't even come to rectify or address the problem. So I understand your plight and I understand your situation, but yet they continue to bill you. But they are billing me for a service that I don't get. I just don't understand. So I agree totally with you, So TSTT, if you are listening to me this morning, I have that problem. Whenever I pick up my receiver, all I'm getting is what you call a busy tone. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jagannath. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, my friend. How are you doing? What's happening?
Well, I didn't listen much about what really going on with this talk that I had about the budget, because when I hear they want to cut pension.
No, man. You see, this is why I get vexed with all the people, I just tried to explain that to you this morning. I don't know who this be giving all of this information. One of my friends told me, Shiva, he went to the bank and the discussion centered around this. Well, hold on. The government going to cut pension. They're going to take away all of the grants, and they're going to interfere with your national insurance. So I asked my colleague, where are you getting this information from? From the corridors in the bank. People... Anyway, the finance minister would have addressed that yesterday. This is even to my particular caller here. Your pensions will not be cut. Your senior citizen pension will not be cut. National insurance will not be interfered with. It's a contribution you make or you made. So I don't know where you people getting all this information from. That you fear that the minister are going to cut pensions and so on. This is fear mongering among people who have their own agenda. Who vexed with me, laws? That's why I call it as I see it. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Yes, it's me again, Mr. Jagannath.
Yeah, go ahead. So where you get that information from that they're going to cut pension?
Well, this is what they on the TV and in the radio.
No, you're wrong. The TV or the radio never said that.
All right, but they cut it last year.
They did not cut it last year.
Mr. Jagannath.
No, hold on. You listen to the finance.
Let me finish first, please, man.
Go ahead.
I will listen off it. Right. What happened? On the budget, they have stated that they will go from 2,000 to 3,000 on the pension, and they went to 2,500. So we were supposed to get 3 last year, and they cut it to 2,500. So that I consider it cutting. So if even they give you the 3,000 this year, by chance, if we're lucky, and we get it this year, you take it last year already.
All right. Well, I hear you. I hear your argument, and I would have supported you in that argument because there was a ceiling of $6,000, and if you are receiving a national insurance, a minimum of $3,000, there would have been the expectations as a senior citizen. If you are receiving a national insurance, well, then you will not get 3,500, you will get 3. As opposed to now, you get $2,500. But there's something what you call a band. And a social worker would have tried to explain that to me. So there's a lot of confusion on that. So the argument that the government of the day will cut your pension going forward at this time, that's not a possibility, as according to Finance Minister Colin Imbert. He would have said that yesterday. I hope that would have bring some sort of sanity into our discussion here this morning. All right? This is according to the Finance Minister. Your pensions will not be cut. National insurance will not be interfered with. That's according to, and there will be no devaluation at this time. People engage in fear mongering, as I said, for their own agenda, to satisfy their own agenda. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
It's me again.
Good morning.
It won't take long, I promise. But what you said is the truth. I've been talking to people, and they also saying that pensions are going to be cut, and I don't know who's spreading those rumors. But they want to cause fear.
Well, I can tell you who's spreading those rumors. It's people who want the finance minister to take a decision to cut pension, interfere with your national insurance, engage in devaluation, so they can say, you see, I told you so. Take all you take that. All you vote the PNM, all you take that. This is what they are hoping for.
You know, and I read so much social media stuff about, like, they're always pointing fingers and hitting every minister, like, how dare you, how dare you. But yet you don't want to pay a property tax and you have a big apartment building. And the minute you start talking property tax, everybody gets vexed. You know, the truth of the matter is this, we have a lot of people here who live abroad and they pay their property tax, their water tax, every tax they pay. And when they come here, it's like you get this privilege now. I always say it's a privilege to be who you want to be, walk naked on the road, do a dance, go crazy, drink in the parlor, drink in a bar, and maybe do crazy things because you're freeing up yourself. That is recklessness. But what I wanted to say to you is this. There are lots of points I like about the PNM. When I first started reading about the PNM and the history, and when you read it on paper, it's very powerful. Especially when you read about the guys like C.L.R. James, who influenced Eric Williams, and then Eric Williams turned around Dr. Williams and kind of kicked him out, you know? And you've seen how politics play. But what I really like about the PNM is that on paper, it comes across as fair. It's just. And they do check off all the boxes, but on implementation, they fail. Just like UNC. But I feel like a lot of times, a lot of UNC supporters, I mean, they are so diehard UNC supporters, they refuse to see any good in the PNM. Like, the PNM is always bad. And then there are PNM supporters who all they see is crooks and thieves in the UNC. And it's so hard, and the airwaves play that. They banter to that. And I think for me, it's like I try to find a good common point on the two sides to say, okay, now we're moving forward with it. But it's like, you know, I hope this radio station stays fair, and you are fair, Kendrick. I like the way you say good things about the PNM, and then you say other things about the UNC too. You have to be a media, you have to be walking on one line. You can't jump fence each time. So I just think that there are lots of things the PNM does that I think is good on paper. I just wish I would see it enforced on the ground. And I think the UNC, I do believe that when I talk to people, close people, they always say, you know, it's corrupt, you know, they're very corrupt, they thief more than anybody else. And I was like, what do they do? And then you read back the history of all these stuff that happened. But everybody stole in this country. But I want to say something, We have a village person who won the election, a seat in our area. And since that election, he has gone. And I know he's like invisible now. And I wonder if that will continue, you know, for everybody else in their community. You have a representative, and they come and they're helping you dig a drain, and they're giving you a hamper, and then a few months, then after that, they're gone. They don't care about the road, they don't care about potholes, they don't care about listening to you. And I think, Kendrick, we need to let's focus now on how we're going to build this country with leaders that we have.
Well, quite true, and I agree with you. That's why I spoke about leadership here this morning. What we need is a good leadership in this country. Anyway, on that note, folks, let me bring the curtain down on today's edition of the morning program. And thank you, the listening audience, for being part of the program here this morning. Well, I have this final caller on the line. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Kenneth.
Hi, good morning, friend.
I want to tell Miss, what's her name? Marjaz Village. The fellas they get their first pay, so giving them after they get their first salary, I'm looking to see them after that. Have a blessed one. Close it and have a blessed one. And have the bigger bye.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning. Shiva heard what came out. She said, Kendrick, you're doing a great job after God. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
And pleasant good morning to you, Kendrick Jagannath.
Mr. Bangville, boy. Use the man who talk about devaluation, boy. Use the man who talking about cutting pension. Go ahead.
Oh, let me tell you something, my friend.
Yeah.
Anything that comes out as a suggestion or assuming or might be kind of suspicious under the PNM, it will happen. So I want to tell the people that I stand by my word, and you will see. The WASA also, you will see what's going on. TLTech also, you will see what's going on. Connect?
No, but you tell me. No, hold on. Apparently, you would have looked in your crystal ball. What is going to happen with TNTech and WASA?
Now, when you give taxpayers your free bulb, and it costs $8-something million, right? Now, you expect to get something, a backlash, because the PNM have a tendency to give it one hand and take out with the other hand. So don't be surprised see and take prices raised. Don't be surprised.
You see, that's why I try to inform you, Mr. Bank Village. TNTech cannot arbitrarily raise its rates. WASA cannot arbitrarily raise its rates. You have to go before an entity called the Regulated Industries Commission. You have to satisfy the Regulated Industries Commission before any rate increase is introduced. I hope that that satisfies you. You see, because some of you people from outside, they believe that WASA could raise their rate arbitrarily, and so to TNTech. It does not happen like that. It does not happen like that. You have to go before the Regulated Industries Commission, and the operative word there is regulated. On that note, let me say my final goodbye for the day and invite you to join me again tomorrow, just after the 6 o'clock hour. I'm Kenrick Juggernaut. Have a safe and blessed day, folks. Take care of yourself, whatever you're doing. Observe all of the necessary health protocols, social distancing, sanitizing, wear a mask. If you do not have to go outside, stay home. Stay home. Good morning, people. Take care. I'm out of here.